We've had our number of great encounters this year, from 1v1 fights to sheer wars of attrition. However, 2018 also has had its share of utterly disappointing encounters. Let's run through 15 of them in a suitably mocking order. Wanderer SETH, Metal Gear Survive. Agile, brutal, and not like most wandering crystal zombies, Wanderer SETH seemed imposing at first. That is, until his poor AI and predictable patterns made it all too easy to topple him. Simply build some turrets, run away, and repeat. It was both underwhelming and incredibly hilarious. BOLVERK, The Banner Saga 3. As a boss and character, BOLVERK wasn't all that bad on its own. It's not like the fight was necessarily difficult or anything though. Heck, if you manipulate the environment properly enough, BOLVERK can take heaps of damage before ever getting near you. What's worse is that there isn't anything after you beat him, like battling with the serpent or anything. At least the endings are good though. Forgotten GAIAN, Death's Gambit. This massive towering golem is pretty intimidating at first. Then you realise the fight's merely about avoiding his slow sword and foot attacks while whittling his health down. The real battle is with Iono, with the Forgotten GAIAN assisting and being more annoying than anything else. It certainly would have been cooler to mount this beast, Shadow of the Colossus style, to take it down. The Core, MOTHERGUNSHIP. Finally, the moment you've been working towards. You're finally at the core of the MOTHERGUNSHIP, but there's not a lot going on. You dodge slow-moving projectiles, float from one platform to the other while unloading bullets, and quickly get to the core of the core. Cool! Except it's the same thing but with a small minion to annoy you every now and then. The payoff for it all? There's more than one MOTHERGUNSHIP, meaning all that effort was for nothing. KRAKEN, Sea of Thieves. Are you somewhat competent at aiming and shooting? Because that's what the first half of this fight is. At times you can avoid some of the Kraken's attacks, but it will suck you in one of its tentacles. From there on, you have to do some melee attacks, and once enough hits are connected, you'll be thrown back. Make your way to the ship and then start taking cannonball shots. Although this set piece looks and feels great, the actual mechanics behind defeating the boss are pretty underwhelming. ZORAH MAGDAROS, Second Fight, Monster Hunter World. The most underwhelming Elder Dragon fight in Monster Hunter World isn't even much of a fight. It's more of an extended sequence where you just do, things. Destroy some cores by hitting them, avoid magma bursts, repel Nergigante, or don't, it'll go away even if you do nothing. And eventually you'll be on the wall firing arrow turrets. As part of the story, this entire mission was thematically fine, but as a boss fight, it felt way too contrived and restricted. KINGPIN, Spider-Man. When I first saw KINGPIN in the animated Spider-Man cartoon, he was impressively powerful and brilliantly ruthless. The KINGPIN from Insomniac's Spider-Man is an introductory boss that's not particularly smart at dealing with our friendly neighborhood blabbermouth. The QTE stuff was actually pretty cool, it's just a shame that there wasn't much more to this iconic villain. Scorchbeast Queen, Fallout 76. So you drop a nuke on Fisher Site Prime as part of the main quest to fight the Scorchbeast Queen. If you haven't cooperated with other players before, it's pretty much necessary here, as the Queen is suitably massive. Unfortunately, there isn't a whole lot to her moveset. She is little more than a beefy bullet sponge, and scorched varieties of other foes constantly nag you. The worst part? Given the crashes that occur in Fallout 76, it's possible to crash during this fight and lose all your progress. HARVEY, A Way Out. At this point, A Way Out is a fully fledged third-person shooter, as Leo and Vincent fight their way to HARVEY. What does HARVEY, this expert at betraying people and leaving them for dead, do? Rather than running away, he just stands in place, firing a grenade launcher at our heroes. He doesn't even attempt to move while all of his men fall around him, prompting our heroes to attack him from behind. Thankfully, the actual sequence leading to Harvey's death is pretty cool. The Elite Four, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. Remember the Elite Four in Pokemon Red and Blue? Remember how they started out as respectable challenges if you were on the same level, and slowly scaled up until the leader Lance schooled you with his dragon Pokemon? In Pokemon Let's Go, that challenge isn't really there. While the game itself isn't meant to push you to the limits, it is kind of disappointing to see the Elite Four so easily vanquished. Ravenai Horde Extinction. This is supposed to be the penultimate encounter to cap off the disappointing extinction. Instead, it's just a retread of what you've been doing since the beginning. Target the armor of Ravenai, destroy them, and kill the Ravenai. Oh, and rescue some citizens beforehand. That's it. There's no emotional high or anything to really end the experience on. Final boss, the Quiet Man. Without audio, the Quiet Man's climax comes off as bizarre, shoddily handled and badly executed. That's even before we get to the actual boss, who's little more than a plague doctor mask wearing with a stun baton. It's only with audio and dialogue that you really understand how stupid everything is though. Berserker, Gene Rain. You probably haven't heard of Gene Rain, but that's okay. Dealy Network's third-person Gears of War knockoff looks and plays terribly. Is it wrong to expect some kind of payoff from the end boss? Is it presumptuous to hope that the game does something to end things on a somewhat okay note? All you do is hide behind a block, poke out to fire a few shots, and that's about it. The Berserker doesn't even make an attempt to run you down. AMOS, Past Cure. Some boss fights have sequences that are very similar, but with each new sequence, a new element is added. Past Cure has this with its final boss, AMOS, but somehow makes the fight incredibly dull. Between all the monologuing, our hero Ian has to do stuff like walking to avoid slow-moving rocks and shooting slow-moving mannequins. AMOS himself is a pushover as well. Simply get behind a pillar when necessary and pelt him with bullets. Truly a terrible end to a terrible game. YUKI, New Gundam Breaker. The initial battle against YUKI is kind of meh, but things get serious when he creates 3 copies of himself as you work to take him down. Right? Well, not really, because you're relegated to mundane tasks like kill 20 neutral units and break 10 containers. It just goes on and on and on. By the time you finally fight YUKI, he easily falls and eats a double punch from you. Yep, that's really it.
And that wraps it up. If you like what we're doing, please consider subscribing to our channel. We upload new videos daily, so make sure you don't miss them by subscribing. We appreciate your support, and we thank you for checking us out.